All right, Steeler fans, we are back, and it is time for everyone's favorite game, and that is over-under. Now, Dave, it's been a while. We didn't have this last week. We didn't do over-under last week. You had a commanding lead last I remember, and Brian and I were just kind of chugging along in second and third place. Do you have those totals?
Oh, of course I do. I have to dip into the old notebook because I used it up. So you guys are making me have to double dip right now a little bit. I reviewed these last week. These are just the over-unders. This isn't the game picks or the point totals that we have for each game, but just the various stats Jeff has. Jeff, you could totally catch me this week. I have 16. Jeff has 12. Brian has 11. If Jeff does 5 of them, sorry, Brian, the best you could do is tie. If we have completely opposite picks and you get them all, but
I'm playing the long
I'm
game.
not running away with it yet, but we'll see.
You know, I grew up as a golfer. My dad's friend used to always say, if you start up at, he goes, Jeff, there's a lot of paper left. There's a lot of paper left on that scoreboard. There's a lot of paper left on the schedule for us to make these up. Go ahead, Brett, Dave.
And I've also said, especially since the Steelers 2020 season, don't get so excited when you're number one in the league in September and October, because all that matters is if you're number one come January and February.
Yeah.
You just got to put yourself in a position to be in the running for it.
All right. So today we have 5 over-under picks. Okay. So we have 5. I only went 2 individuals. The rest were teams, and they're the same individuals. So let's start off with that one individual, Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett passing yards. Kenny Pickett passing yards. I have the line set at 255 and a half. 255 and a half. Dave, what do you think?
Oh, I got to go first this time? I'm still writing down all the...
Brian, go ahead. Doesn't matter. Go ahead, Brian.
Under.
Okay.
I don't believe yet. I want to see it.
Got it. Dave, what about you?
You said 255 and a half, right?
Correct. The hook is there.
Oh, that half's going to make all the difference. Therefore, I'm going to have to go under.
You're going under?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's kind of high.
I'll go under as well. So we'll basically just negate that. But 255, I think
Still in first place, baby.
Deontay Johnson coming back. I trust me. I think he could have a game. Anyways, let's go to Kenny Pickett touchdowns and 1.5. Kenny Pickett touchdowns. This is total. This is not passing. This is total touchdowns. So rushing touchdowns would count. Brian, what do you think?
You know what? I'm going to go with the over this week.
Okay. Dave?
Steelers do not have a rushing touchdown yet this season. Is that going to change? And will the Steelers finally get more than, they've only got more than one offensive touchdown in one game out of 5 so far. So is it that time? Yeah, sure. It's that time. Let's go over.
I think that they do get a rushing touchdown this game, and I think that would be a quarterback sneak from Kenny Pickett, and I think he also throws for one, so I'm going to take 2 because that was a total touchdown line, not passing touchdown. So I got the over. All right, let's go with Steelers defensive takeaways. All right, they've been doing a great job of taking the football away. Dave on his Stat Geek podcast talked about how important it is so far this season for them to win the turnover battle every single game. I've got the line at 1.5. So what are we thinking here, Brian? Over under Steelers defensive takeaways, 1.5.
I'm liking 2 in this game, so I will go ahead and go with the over.
All right, Dave.
This is scaring me. I don't like agreeing with Brian so much since he's in last place, but I had 2 in my mind as well. If they could get 2, I think they'll be in good shape. So I'm
going to go under. I'm going to think it's just 1. I think they're going to take the ball away, but I think it's just going to be one defensive takeaway there. All right, next is an interesting one, and that's I asked Dave about the sack totals for the Rams earlier. Los Angeles Rams sacking Steelers quarterbacks. I've got that line set pretty low because I knew they weren't great. They weren't great at developing pass rush. I've got it at 1.5. Believe it or not, what do you think, Brian?
I'm still going to say the over on that one too, because just having Aaron Donald on that line, and this line hasn't proven anything to us yet.
Okay, Dave?
So I'm really tempted to, you know what? Why not? Why not go out on a limb? I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say under. He's only going to get sacked once because Kenny's going to decide to, whether if the pressure's coming around, he's going to throw it to Deontay Johnson.
I was going under before you even said it, Dave. I'm going under as well. I think he gets sacked maybe one time, or maybe he'll have a clean game. You never know.
Yeah.
Last one. How many times did the Steelers sack Matthew Stafford or a Los Angeles Ram quarterback? We're going to set that line at 2.5. Brian, do you think it's the over or the under?
I'm going to go with the over. Let's say 3, barely.
Okay. Dave?
I'm going over as well.
I was going to take the over with 3, but I wouldn't be shocked. I'm going to take the over. Let's make that very clear. I'm going to take the over, but I
really
wouldn't
makes
be
a difference
shocked.
if TJ Watt's okay too, doesn't it?
That's true. That's a very good point. I will say I could see it at 2. I could see them also getting 2, but I'm going to take the over. So there you go. All right. Let's talk about predictions. Now, the line that I have in front of me is that the Rams are giving the standard home field advantage 3-point spread with the over-under line set at 44 total points. Brian, now's your chance to tell everyone what you think is going to happen in this game and what your score prediction is.
So I'm going to go with the push because the score prediction that I came up with is 23-20. Unfortunately, in favor of the Los Angeles Rams. Why am I putting it that way? Traditionally, in the Mike Tomlin era, we have seen them go to California, go to the West Coast, not do too well on the road against NFC West opponents. Now, of course, do I count Arizona in that? Do I count Las Vegas in that? Because I know that's not NFC, but I'm just saying that that's out west and they've had some luck in those places. But I'm really going to say, for the most part, last time they were in SoFi, last couple times they were playing the Chargers on the road. When they play out there, they just don't seem to shine. I think that's possibly going to continue.
All right, so you said 23-20, right?
Yes.
So that's a push with the spread, been slightly under, barely under. All right, Dave, what about you? What is your score prediction? How do you see this game shaking out?
Yeah, this is one of those that I haven't spent a lot of time thinking about it and come in with my score already. So I'm making it up on the fly. And like I was saying on Tuesday night, I'm like, right now I'm not feeling it. You know, with the bye, you just don't know and blah, blah, blah. But then I'm like, I'll find a way to convince myself otherwise. Man, I would not be shocked either way in this game. I really wouldn't be shocked if the Steelers win it. I wouldn't be shocked if they lose it. It's just one of those games. There's a whole bunch of teams in the NFL that are in the middle and are just kind of like, eh. I feel like the Rams are one of those teams. I feel like the Steelers are one of those teams. I feel like the entire AFC North is one of those teams right now. And what's going to separate these teams from here on out is the ones that take their and start to be a little bit more consistent with things. So I'm hoping that starts with the Steelers right now. Now to come up with the score, I am taking the Pittsburgh Steelers against the points. I am going under, and I am going to say that the final score is, let's come up with something unique. Let's go 18-13 Steelers.
Wow. Okay. No, hey, that's your prediction. That's fine. 18-13, and so that's the under. And all right. I think it's going to be a little bit more high scoring than Dave's prediction. Not by much. I have it pretty close to Brian's actually, except flip the script a little bit. I think we're going to see another Kenny Pickett fourth quarter game. I think he's going to drive the team down and is going to put up a touchdown when it matters most. I have the Steelers winning this game 24-20. So that's a push on the over-under. I've got the Steelers on the money line getting the points. Doesn't matter. I got the Steelers 24-20. I just think that the more we see without Ben Roethlisberger, was the West Coast thing a Tomlin thing or was it a Ben thing? I'll be curious to see a little bit more of that. Also coming off the bye. So you have these two narratives of Mike Tomlin coming out of a bye very strong. the team turning it around, but yet they're going to the West Coast, which they never perform well there. Something's got to give. I'm going to trust the Mike Tomlin coming out of the bye record more than I will the others. I listened to Dave's Stat Geek this morning, and he talked about all those stats and things like that. So I am therefore sticking with my gut. Steelers win 24-20. So there you have it. So Brian picked against the Steelers. Dave and I took the Steelers. Very good. Good picks. I like them. Except Brian's. Anyways, Brian, what's your trivia tonight? You're muted, Brian.
You're muted, Brian.
I know, that's why I wasn't saying a
Oh.
word. You know, it's my lips didn't move. I was shoring up my trivia on the other end, and I got stuck. So yeah, I actually have two trivias. And I'm gonna make the first one very quick, and the second one will be a traditional bad trivia that Dave has probably studied for. But I'm gonna try to cross him up. So
Jerome Bettis.
So the Pittsburgh Steelers. History shows that the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 1979 season in 1980 defeated the Los Angeles Rams by the score of 31-19 in Super Bowl 14. However, Cinema had the Rams beating the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl in 1978. That did not happen, but in the world of the movies, and I'll even give you a hint, in Warren Beatty's mind, it did happen. The quarterback was Joe Pendleton for the Los Angeles Rams. And what was that movie?
Oh, the Warren Beatty football movie.
I got no clue.
It's one of those like catchphrasey like titles.
I'm looking
like
at the
like an idiom.
I'm looking in the live chat. I'm cheating.
I don't know. Go ahead and cheat, Jeff. It's
I don't know. Some people are saying Black Sunday.
No.
Heaven Can Wait. Is that right?
Oh, Heaven Can Wait. That's right.
Heaven Can Wait is a very good movie. It was actually
never
a remake.
seen it, but I know what it's about.
It is a really cool movie. Football is not really, it's not a football movie, but football's a backdrop for it. It's really cool. They did defeat the Steelers in that Super Bowl. And actually then right after that, in the 79 season, that Super Bowl actually did happen, but not the way Warren Beatty wrote it up. So that's good news for Steelers fans. My second one is one of my typical ones. And, you know, of course, we're seeing a lot of former Rams playing for the Steelers. Well, one, Allen Robinson. Of course, we already talked about Akello. We talked about Dotson in this game. There's a lot of former Steelers and Rams. There's ones that I know, of course, Dave threw out. And of course, that's the big one. There's another huge name in there, a huge Hall of Famer that played for both teams. But I just want to know about number one picks. There have been 9 number one picks that have played for both the Rams and the Steelers. I'm not going to ask for all of them because I don't expect any of you, myself included, to say Frank Verricchione, Lou Michaels. I would have got Lou Michaels, actually. Art Hunter and Lou Corleone. But there's 5 others that have all happened since, let's say, 1990. Who are they?
First round picks by one of the teams, but then played
so Jerome Bettis would be one of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Jerome Bettis.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be by one of the
Green.
teams. They are first round picks.
Oh,
but played for both teams.
Got it.
Okay.
Was Allen Robinson wasn't a first round pick, was he?
He was a number 2, I believe.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But did I say Green?
Kevin Green was a number 5, a 5th rounder.
Oh, really? I was just thinking of. For some reason I was thinking Hall of Fame, which was what you'd said. Sorry, I was breaking up. Couldn't hear the whole question.
I'm drawing a blank.
Let's see. One was a first-round pick of the Steelers, and Hines Ward didn't like it very much.
Hines Ward didn't like the pick very much. I have no idea.
I'm looking at the live chat. I'm gonna throw out some names that they're throwing out there and see if they're right. Troy Edwards.
Troy Edwards is correct. The reason I said Hines Ward did not like that is because he was the number 1 pick in 1999. Plexico Burris was the number 1 pick in 2000. And what happened in 1998? Number 3 pick was Hines Ward, and they kept on bringing in wide receivers. And he was like, hey, what about me?
Yeah.
So Troy Edwards is that guy there. The live chat has another one right.
Wayne Yandy.
Wayne Gandy. I was actually on Wayne Gandy's show a couple years ago as a guest from our network here. And then here's one that you're not going to get. It was actually a number 1 pick, I believe, of Tampa Bay. He was probably one of the most recent Steelers here, Mark Barron.
Oh.
And here's one.
He was a first-round draft pick?
Mark Barron was like,
wow.
He was a top 10 draft pick, Jeff.
Holy cow. I had no idea.
I think 7 or 8.
Jeez.
Yeah. And that was the David DeCastro draft.
Okay.
And the last one, he was not a number 1 pick of this team either. He was actually a number 1 pick of the Denver Broncos, but you should know this. He's a quarterback. And no, it's not Doug Hodges, even though Doug Hodges was on both the Steelers and the Rams. But this quarterback is one that a lot of us like a lot.
Oh, Tommy Maddox.
Tommy Maddox was a Ram and a Steeler.
He played for the Rams?
Yes.
Huh.
I believe that was before he played for the... That was definitely before he played for the Steelers. Oh, because he retired as Steeler. There you go. That's it.
There you go.
Dave, you missed Mark Barron in there.
Oh, yeah, Mark Barron. That one makes sense. Am I okay? Is my connection all right?
You're good.
You've been fine.
Because I couldn't, I don't know. We'll see how this goes because I couldn't hear either one of you guys for all that. So,
all right. So Dave's trivia. Go ahead.
I'll try to make it quick and see if things actually come through. The one thing that's really discouraging right now, and I talked about it on the last 2 episodes of Stat Geek, is that the Steelers are ranked, this one didn't change at all. They're ranked as the number 30 offense and 30 defense in the NFL right now, which makes it amazing that they're 3-2 when you think about it. Now, when I'm talking about the rankings, I'm talking about what the NFL looks at as the, official offensive ranking, which is yards. So they're ranked 30th in yards. What is the worst ranking that the Steelers offense has had in yardage, and what year was it?
Did you say, is this of all time, or did you give us a Mike Tomlin
of
era?
all time? But if you think about it, if you go back pre-merger, there wasn't that many teams, so they couldn't rank all that high.
Yeah.
So it's basically post.
I think one of the worst ones ever that I remember, and I bet you it wasn't that long ago, but I'm going to go back to 1986 in the Mark Malone days. That's a very bad offense.
1986. I got to filter this the other way around just to find where it was. It wasn't even towards the top. That offense in yardage, they ranked 20th.
Oh, well.
What about 2019?
There's one here that's pretty low-hanging fruit, I thought.
2019?
Worst Steelers. 2019. They were 30th in yards.
Okay.
But there was another one that wasn't that far off where the Steelers were 28th. 28th, if you had any idea what year that was, when they had the 28th best offense. What's crazy, they had the 28th, they were 28th offense They were here. I'll tell you this. They were 28th in offensive yards, 19th in defensive yards, and yet made the playoffs.
2021?
It is not 2021. They were 23rd in offense in 21.
1989.
It is 1989. They were 28th in offense and 19th in defense. Not even in the top half of the league in either category, and yet still made the playoff. But what about defense? The Steelers right now, they're. Go ahead, Brian.
I was just going to say they lost the first two games by a combined score of 92-10.
Yes.
In 89.
So that kind of, so with points, that was definitely it. What about defensively? What was the Steelers' worst ranking yardage wise? What number defense in the NFL?
What year?
Yeah, what year and what rank?
2017.
2017. You thought they had a pretty crummy defense. Hold on, I'm trying to find where they were within all of that. 2017. Yeah, their defense in yards was 5th.
2000. Gosh, so what was the year? 2013 was pretty bad too.
No.
I think. No.
Well, that was going to be my guess. 13.
Yeah. Well, I said no after your first two words.
I heard you say no, and I still said it.
Yeah.
I agreed.
No. I meant he didn't even finish the year. I said it after the first two digits.
So it's not in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm. This is one they did not make the playoff.
1988.
In fact, they only went. Yeah, because they only went 5-11 this year. That was 1988. They finished 28th in the NFL with defense, 15th in offense, but 28th in defense. So I think we'll see some improvement in those numbers as the season goes on. There's they've got a couple games here that are, but then you've got some ones that you would hope that the Steelers could pull them out and could maybe bounce back with some of those matchups they have coming up, I would say, in November. So that's pretty much all I had tonight.